All right, here is your market update for the beginning of March 2023. Now, the beginning of February led with Phoenix being under national spotlight as we hosted the WM Open and Super Bowl, which brought in hundreds of thousands of tourists in our area. You know, in a way, it kind of kickstarted our market as we get closer to spring, which is typically our busiest season. That combined with mortgage rates stabilizing around 6%, we saw an 86% increase in accepted contracts since the beginning of the year. And we do anticipate that number to increase as we get closer towards our peak season with, warmer weather and increased buyer activity. But we also saw 6 major cities lean back into a seller's market: Phoenix, Avondale, Glendale, Tempe, Mesa, and Gilbert. And 2 cities, Peoria and Surprise, went from a strong buyer's market back down to like a balanced market. And at this point, only Goodyear, Queen Creek, Maricopa, and Buckeye remain in quote unquote a buyer's market. It's a big change from where we were seeing in the last few months, but this can be easily manipulated if rates become too volatile again. And kind of keep in mind when I say seller's market, it is not the same seller's market we were seeing in 2021 and the beginning of 2022. Sellers may notice that there is less pressure for a price reduction as there are few new listings entering the market, but it is far from the frenzy that we saw during that same time period. In fact, there have only been 9,600 new listings added to the MLS since the beginning of the year, which is the lowest number of listings measured, in that same time period for like the last 20 years. So the highest measured was over 21,000 in 2006. Over that same 5-week time period. And less competition is good for price stability. However, most sellers will still need to be realistic with, strong negotiations coming from buyers. And most of the listings we have seen closed have seen concessions given to buyers for either rate buy downs or closing cost assistance. So, instead of a price bust like we saw in the mid 2000s, we are seeing more of a standoff between buyers and sellers. On the one hand, we have buyers who would like homes to be as affordable as they were in 2019. But a big share of them, either have to move or, can't afford to despite higher prices and rates. And sellers, they're under no pressure to move since they have super cheap mortgages and plenty of equity in their homes. So for now, sellers are hanging tough, in most cities. And, even small increases in demand can keep prices firm or move them higher because inventory is so tight right now. And rates do remain unpredictable. While they've been relatively stable, and we're trending downward, the most recent employment numbers stopped that party, and have since kind of gone back up to where we were about 2 months ago. But, multiple outlets do expect that rates will either stabilize or trend down in the first quarter of 2023. And I think definitely by the summer, we should have rates come down to more historic averages. So that's exactly what we're seeing, but we may see them bounce around as the bond market flinches, with every report on inflation and employment. And with that, we can expect demand to also ebb and flow over the next couple months. Employment in Arizona has been, really strong, above the national average, with us adding over 94,000 jobs, and a declining unemployment rate. So, and as I mentioned before, we still think this will be the best time to get back out there in the coming years. Yes, rates are higher than you may have wanted, but they will not stay like this forever. And any small tick down in rates, as we saw a few weeks ago, brings a lot of buyers that have been sitting on the sideline back into the market. Remember, you can always refinance when rates do drop. And, the lenders we work with are offering a no-cost refinance within 3 years of purchasing your home. So buyers are still having success and overall negotiations, and sellers are still seeing really strong profits. I know it's strange, but this is what we call a normal market. And if you have any questions or if you know someone looking to buy or sell, I would love to connect. So thanks for tuning in.